Ed Spear and Karen Sosa for inviting us down to Sweet Betsy Farm today as we celebrate their opening of their farm stand that has lots and lots and lots of honey. And we're thankful for them becoming chamber members. So we appreciate that, and we appreciate the opportunity to support you guys. And we thank everybody else for coming out today and helping us. So Ed and Karen, if you guys don't mind, just tell us a little bit about what we have here and what it is you guys are doing.
All right, great. Why don't you tell them about how long we've been beekeeping?
This is our 6th year of beekeeping. We actually got started through the local beekeeping club, and we went to the free beekeeping school they have every year. So that's how we got hooked. We started with one hive. We were going to get it just to help pollinate our garden, and we now have 30 hives and no vegetable garden. We found out we were much better beekeepers than we were vegetable growers. So that's how we got started. And about a year ago, Ed and I were talking, and we realized that there was no permanent place to buy local honey. And so we thought about it, we did a little brainstorming, and we decided that it was time for us to open a little business. We'll be open a couple days a week, every Friday and Saturday through the season, probably the end of September. It will depend on how much honey the bees bring in this year, but our honey's kind of special because we don't use any chemicals, we don't do any treatments, we just treat our bees with love. So our honey is all chemical free, and we like it, and best of all, it tastes good.
Yeah, this is all honey that we've been hoarding from last year. The honey this year is just being made right now. The first honey flow is going on right now, and that's the poplar blossom. That's the big trees, and the poplar blossom is where the bees are getting nectar right now. And on a good week, right now, the bees can make an entire 40-pound super of honey from every week, every hive. But that only goes on for 3 or 4 weeks, and then every time we have a rain like yesterday, that washes the nectar out of the blossom. So this time of the year, we don't like the rain. We would prefer the rain to hold off because the bees could make a lot more honey. North Carolina, this part of North Carolina is very fortunate because we have 2 major honey flows. A lot of places in the U.S., the bees can only make excess honey about once during the summer. They can't make it all summer long. It takes an abundance of nectar, the proper nectar. Right now, that's the poplar. By July, we'll have the sourwood trees in bloom, and that produces our 2nd major honey flow for the year. So most of the beekeepers will harvest honey in June, that's the poplar honey, and then they put the supers back on the hive and collect the sourwood, and then they'll extract the sourwood honey in August. That way we know we've got pure honey of the type of the plant that we want it to be from. So we've got a little bit of sourwood here, and we've got some late summer honey from last year. We don't have any honey yet from this year, but we will in a couple of weeks. So we knew that was coming. We knew we were going to open up, and we weren't going to have honey yet from this year. So we've been telling people, no, we don't have any honey for sale.
But we do.
Yeah.
Now we're ready to sell it.
So when will you guys have honey for this year? When could somebody come down and get it if they wanted, say, this year's honey? When would be a time frame?
That would be by late June.
Okay.
By late June we'll have it harvested, bottled, and that would be the poplar honey, which we think is the best tasting honey. We really like the poplar honey. It's the highest in sugar.
And I know honey's used in a lot of medical ways as well. I mean, people are always told when they move into a region to get the local honey for their allergens and stuff like that, for allergies, and to get accustomed to that region or that area. I know my son, I feed him a tablespoon every morning of local honey, and to help him with his allergies. But now you guys belong to a beekeeping club here in the region. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, that's the McDowell County Honeybee Association. We're a chapter of the North Carolina State Honeybee Association. And this year I'm the president of the local honeybee club. And we have some other people here today who are also members of that honeybee club.
Yeah.
It's for the small little county like McDowell, we have a very active club. We do a lot of community service, and we also help the club members and their beehives. I know everyone's been hearing about the die-off of the bees, and that's been going on for several years now. So there are a lot of management techniques which the beekeeper can employ to prevent that die-off.
So to help that population.
And to help the bees stay alive and get through the winter. That's the big problem, is getting the bees through the winter.
And my understanding is we have, within the area, we have a master beekeeper, I think, which is pretty unique.
We do.
Somewhere local, and that's like a pretty...
Right there.
He's standing right here in this room.
There he is. Just happens to be related to somebody that we know, Amanda. So, and this is a pretty prestigious...
It is.
Accommodation or accomplishment, actually.
Yes.
For somebody to achieve that, and so congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
And,
Wayne. We certainly appreciate having Wayne here. He helps the club a lot with his expertise, and he's been keeping bees since the days of dirt.
But most importantly, he's a good friend.
Yeah.
There we go.
He's a good guy.
Okay.
The other thing that the club does, and anybody who's been around McDowell County, driven around, is we actually keep hives at the community college, at the technical college, and those hives are sponsored jointly by the college and the club, and we harvest the honey and split it with the college. They help us harvest, so that's kind of a fun, unique thing that we have.
Is it a club per se for the college, or is it an actual curriculum that they're learning how to...
It's the McDowell honeybees, and then
Okay.
certain people at the college participate, and if they voice interest, they go to the president and say, hey, I want to be involved. And so there are a few people up at the college who participate, and the club goes and helps harvest, and it's kind of a joint venture.
That's good. Very interesting. Now, behind you is something that I consider to be very unique, and that is what you guys call an observation hive. If I'm correct in that.
Yes.
If you don't mind, tell us a little bit about that and what you do with that.
Okay. Well, it's got glass on both sides so that you can actually see the bees at work. In a normal beehive, the beekeeper has to put on his suit, and he opens up the beehive, and the bees are flying around, and it's often hard to get to see exactly what's going on. But in this case, the bees are living in here full time. They have an access to the outside, so they can go out for their to collect pollen and nectar anytime they want. And in the hive right now, we can see lots of brood. All of the bees that are on this frame right here are all in that patch right there. And that's all capped brood. In other words, they're baby bees being tended to and they're keeping that patch of brood warm. So the bees will keep the inside temperature at about 95 degrees year round. That keeps the brood warm. If they didn't do that, then the eggs would die. And there's a bunch of bees down here, and they're all on brood as well. And they're keeping that brood warm. There's a little patch of brood right here that the bees are not on that patch of brood, and that brood is already old enough that it can take care of itself.
Wow.
And if you look at it real close, you can actually see bees being born. So every day the queen bee lays 1,500 to 2,000 eggs. So that means that given a few weeks for those to develop, then every day 1,500 to 2,000 bees are being born every day.
Wow.
So the number of bees goes up really, really fast this time of the year. They come out of the winter in a small number of bees, and then in the next few months they greatly increase their numbers. So each hive that I have out here in the yard right now, maybe 20, 30,000 bees. In a couple more months, there'll be 40, 50, 60,000 bees in each hive. And that's when they'll really start making some honey.
Okay. Now, my understanding in there's a couple of different classifications of bees. You have some worker bees, some drones, and there's a queen in here as well.
That's correct.
And there's usually just one queen per hive, is that correct?
That's right. There's only one queen. But there's lots of worker bees. All the worker bees are females. And the females do all the work. There are some, I get that response every time.
Imagine that.
So there are some male bees in here. There are some boy bees in here.
And they're drones.
They're drones.
Okay.
And they don't do any work. They can't even feed themselves. They can't even go over here to this cell of honey and get honey. They have to be fed honey from a worker bee.
But they're the ones that mate with
They
the
mate
queen.
with a queen from another hive.
Okay.
This queen's already mated, and these are her sons. So she doesn't mate with these drones. But the purpose of these drones is to mate with a queen from another hive.
So building legacy, so to speak.
That's right.
Okay.
So they will go out and fly every day and looking for queens from other hives to mate with. Once a drone mates, he dies.
That's a sad story.
It's a sad story.
Sad story.
And the queen herself, she only mates once, or one day, in her whole life. So when she's young, before she'll leave the hive and she'll go out and flying around in the air trying to find drones, and she will mate for a couple of hours. She actually may do this a couple of days in a row. And then she comes back into the hive and she never leaves again. She spends the rest of her life in the hive laying 1,500 to 2,000 eggs a day.
She's gotta be tired.
Once she gets old and can no longer lay that many eggs, the worker bees will decide to make a new queen. The queen doesn't get to make that decision. The worker bees make that decision. And so the worker bees will decide, we need a new queen. They'll take an egg from the existing queen and turn that into a new queen.
Wow.
And so when that new queen is born, the new queen and the old queen will fight it out.
Wow.
And only the strongest one will survive. They will kill each other. One of them will kill the other. They will fight to the death. And if the old queen is still strong and she can defend herself, then she takes over the hive again. But if the young queen, which is generally obviously younger and stronger, she generally is the one who wins that battle. And she will kill the old queen, and then she goes out and mates and comes back and lays 1,500 to 2,000 eggs a day for the rest of her life.
That's amazing. I mean, it seems like some medieval knights and warlords and clans and all this seems to it's very educational. And I think that's a great opportunity. And I think we challenge people to come down and learn and take an opportunity to understand what it is that you guys do, the importance of it, again, for the habitat and the environmental aspect of it. So again, thank you for the opportunity today. We're very proud to be partnered with you guys, and we can hope that we can showcase you guys and get the word out about the educational piece of this alone. But not only that, for people to come down and buy honey, local honey, and opportunities like that. And we thank the fellow beekeepers for being here today to support you guys. And that being said, I have a small token for you, Karen, and it's a chocolate business card that says thank you.
Thank you.
And
I like
then
chocolate.
we're fixing to go outside and we'll do a ribbon cutting.
Great.
But we have a little commemorative thing for you guys. It's your little golden scissors.
Neat.
And it says building community through business, McDowell Chamber of Commerce, turning opportunity and vision into reality. And that's something you guys have done. You had a vision and you saw an opportunity and you moved on it. And now we have this wonderful place here, again, where people can come down, purchase local honey, get an educational side of it and learn and potentially even become a beekeeper on their own through your club and organizations. So we thank you for that opportunity today. And again, here's your golden
Thank
scissors.
you very much.
Thank
So,
you.
We're excited to be a member of the chamber.
Yes, sir.
And we talked about that for quite a while and decided, yes, that's the route we wanted to go.
Well,
So
we're
we
glad to
appreciate
have
the
you guys.
support that you
Yes,
give
sir.
us.
And whatever we can do to come alongside of you. We have we have a few ambassadors with us. Donna Ledbetter from the Senior Center. She's one of our ambassadors that's out in the community making awareness of the chamber and talking to business members about the benefits of that. And then we have a special guest with us today from the Marion Business Association, Miss Lou Godfrey, and she represents, again, like I said, the Marion Business Association. Lou, you have anything you would like to add?
Well, it's an amazing thing that you do here, and I've learned in myself a lot about the bees today, and I've seen you down at the tailgate market, and we just continue success here, and I'm glad you're here. And if there's anything that we can do, please let us know. And
Thank you.
congratulations.
Thanks.
Anybody else?
The extension office is here too.
The extension office. Well, there we go. Well, thank you very much for being here and the support. Yeah, the support that you guys bring, and I know that's important to them. What you guys do. So, and we thank Mr. Wayne for being here. One of the county's only master beekeepers.
There's two.
One of
There's
two.
two.
One of
Oh,
He's
there's-
50% of our
he's-
master
There we go.
beekeeper
He's half of the club.
He's
There,
our
half of
newest,
that-
our
that.
newest master beekeeper.
There we go. So, and again, that's a very major accomplishment, having talked with you before. So we're honored to have somebody like that, or two of them, let alone in our community. So we thank you, and if we will, we'll move outside and we'll do some ribbon cutting and officially open this place.
Yay!
All right, let's do that.
Thank you.